Hello my friends and welcome back to Ultimate Minecraft episode number 33. What's that? My shiny new netherite armor? It does look pretty grand on me, doesn't it? That's right my friends, in the last episode we did that. We got ancient debris and we got tons of it because all of the gear, every tool, every piece of armor I own now is a netherite variant, and on top of all of that we have a stack and a half extra to spare that I don't need to use on anything just yet. Fingers crossed I don't die and lose all my stuff anytime soon. It was a good episode. It took a lot longer than I thought it would. I spent a good number of hours blowing up TNT, and we blew up a shulker box full and 8 stacks of TNT, courtesy of that bad boy right there, that beautiful upgraded creeper farm of ours. But that's the past. Now we're in the present. What are we doing today? Well, today I think I'm gonna get back into the swing of things. We have a to-do list board full of things that I need to do sooner or later in this world. Some of these farms I really want to get done, but I need more materials. Yes, I'm 33 episodes into this thing and I still don't have everything I need. No, redstone materials is what I need. I don't have slime and I don't have honey blocks. So I think the first of those two, probably the easiest of those two to solve, is the honey block problem. That can substitute the use of slime blocks for a little bit. So we need to build a honey bottle farm. Future Elementalist here. If you're just here for the tutorial, go ahead and skip ahead to the time on screen right now. Unfortunately, it's not quite as simple as just building the same thing we built for the honeycomb farm. Speaking of which, this farm is still broken. Which does mean that I can't just replace that one out, swap it out, and use it as a honey bottle farm. You need more redstone for it, right? And I do currently have some. I think those 3 are empty because they stack, and none of these stack. So I think I have 6 bee nests full of bees. That's not quite enough. Since my honeycomb farm is currently broken, I would like to start by fixing that one first, which means I'm going to need to separate out 4 of these bee nests to replace the ones that are currently in there. That does mean that I only have 2 left, and 2 is not going to be enough for the honey bottle farm. So, first things first, before anything else, I need to gather up some wood. I would like to do this with oak, but oak is never quite as efficient. So we'll just go ahead and do this with birch. Grab a bunch of saplings, grab a bunch of bone meal, and I'll need some flowers. Where are my rockets? There are my rockets. Away we go! So this is the setup I tend to prefer to get bee nests, right? You need a row of flowers 1 block away from where you grow your tree. So if we grow a tree there, we need an open space and then a flower next to it. I double up. I don't know if that makes a difference. That's just how I do it. I put path blocks around this just because it's easier than replacing the dirt around it. But basically you don't want to be able to bone meal this block. Otherwise you're going to find yourself with flowers and with grass and with all kinds of garbage all around you. And then if you grow up said tree, there is a small chance of a bee nest spawning on it. Now I just go ahead and place a whole row of these things, and I do this in mass, and while I'm technically farming bee nests, I also get a bunch of wood in the process. So this is my life for the next, probably half an hour. We'll see how long this takes me. But I need at least 2 more bee nests. Okay, I had to pause the game because we have our first beehive and I literally just slept. So in an attempt to get this beehive with all of its bees inside, I'm gonna have to be quick. We're gonna go 1 and... Did I get it? I got it! I got it! I didn't see any bees escape. Excellent. Now, while I have you guys here, yes, I am aware that I have, in the past, already replaced the bee nests inside of my farm. It's nothing new. But at the time, when I then subsequently decided that I was never going to do that again, because they just disappeared again, I was not aware that there's actually a bug in Minecraft, or there was a bug in Minecraft where that happened, where bees would just disappear from their nests without any explanation. That is an actual bug that was solved in, I think, the release of 1.18.1. It's a bug that was patched. Now, I might be wrong on exactly when it was patched, but I know that it has been fixed. So, now is as good a time as any to replace said bee nests, since, hopefully, my bees will no longer disappear anymore. And that is beehive number 2. I only needed the 2, I believe, because now I do in fact have 4 and 4, which means I can fix the honeycomb farm, and then, my friends, we get to build a honey bottle farm. First things first, while the sun is setting, nighttime is the perfect time to be doing this. I'm just gonna get myself in here, and we can go ahead and get rid of the 4 of those. See, they stack. Some of them stacked. I think that's the empty one. I really hope that's the empty one. Oh, I didn't think this through. Now I have no idea. Okay, wait. I have a plan B. I have a plan B. That plan involves sleeping to make it daytime. Okay, now with the sun out, any bees that I place down will want out. So, let's test this. Let's see. Let's place one down. I don't even... Oh, I hear bees. Yeah, look at the subtitle. There's a bee in that one. Okay, excellent. We have bees. We have bees. Let's place another one. Do we get more bees? I don't see any more coming out of this one. Oh, nope, there they are. Okay, that one has bees. Number 3. Okay, that... Yes, okay, there are bees in that one. Excuse me, Mr. B, I'd like to place one over there, and I think your butt is in the way. No, okay, his butt's not in the way. That came out of that one, I think. Knock, knock. Excuse me, sirs, but do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and... Okay, so I've been sitting here for an entire cycle of those 3, and I haven't seen any bees come out of that one. So we're gonna take it back. We're gonna try a different one. Alternatively, I could just breed the bees that are in here. And I could fill it manually, because I think these 2 only have 2 bees in them. I'm gonna do that. Let's get some flowers. But in order to do that very effectively, I'm gonna need some more flowers. So... as the sun is busy setting behind us now, I think it's a pretty good time, because our bees will be going to bed pretty soon. And I can show you now, it's been about 3 or 4 Minecraft days. If I open up the debug screen, the F3 screen, right? On the screen right here, you will see the block I am facing, which in this case is a Minecraft bee nest. And under that, it says which direction, and again under that, it gives me a honey level. All 4 of these have a honey level of 5, contrasting to a honey level of 0 that an empty hive will have. Which means bees have been filling these 4 nests, and they are full. So, I do have, at the very least, 1 bee in each of these 4 nests, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick these guys up now and replace them again with the glass. because they are not meant to be there. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, the minecart just picked one up. Running this way, let's see if it... Yep, there it is. Okay, so these 4 nests, I know for a fact, have bees in them because I put the bees there. So, that one is done now. And this can just carry on the way it's been carrying on. I now have a door in there, which may or may not have been a good idea, but anyway. And before I confuse myself again, we're going to take a colored shulker box, and the 4 bee nests that I just filled myself are going into it, the yellow one. Remind me, the yellow shulker box has actual bees in it. We'll put it there for now. Definitely going to lose that. And I'm pretty sure these 3 bee nests over here also have bees in them. But I don't know for certain. But I think that's a future me problem. So for now, this shulker box, which has 4 empty bee nests and potentially 3 full ones, is just going to go in there. Ah, it's good to see this thing working again. And no, not all of this is from right now. About a stack of this is from now. We were about there. So that's grand. That is perfect. It works. But it has taken me a lot longer to get to this point in the video than I had hoped, where I actually have the bee nests ready. I thought I was just going to chop some trees, but anyway, we now have 4 bee nests that have bees in them. I've got my redstone box here, and I've got a plan. On the right, this is what we currently have, and this is for collecting honeycomb. Because with honeycomb you need to use shears, and a shear will only be used if it can be used. So if I were to put a bunch of shears in this dispenser, every time the state of this bee nest, this is a beehive, just as an analog, there are no bees being harmed in this demonstration just yet. Every time this beehive changes state, i.e. it goes up a tick in honey level. Like we saw those bee nests, these ones, when I took them out, they had a honey level of 5. So every time that number changes, the observer detects it, fires, and it attempts to use a shear. Great. The way I have it set up, I don't know if it's the only way to set it up, works like this. It's sheared, honeycomb is thrown forward, and then minecarts pick it up underneath and take them to a chest and all that. That's what we have. This is what we need for honey bottles, which is a bit more complicated, because we now have no observers anymore. Instead we have a comparator. This comparator will read the signal strength of the bee nest, the beehive, whichever one you're using. I think this is a hive, which makes no sense. Anyway, it'll read the signal strength of that hive. So every time it changes state, for example from 1 to 2, the signal strength increases. And we have 1 redstone, 2 redstone, 3 redstone, 4, 5. So when that beehive reaches a state of 5, which is its maximum state, it will fire a dispenser, which has honey bottles in. This is very important. We only want the dispenser to fire a honey bottle when the beehive is full. If it is not full, it'll just spit out an empty bottle, and the bottle will do nothing. If it is full, it will attempt to fill that bottle. There's the difference. This doesn't need anything complicated. This one needs a bit more complicated. The design for this that I have seen just has the hopper underneath of it. And I tested it in the creative world, and it does seem to work like this. Now I don't know if the honeycomb farm will work like that as well. My reasoning says it should, but I'm not the smartest Minecraft player ever. So this is what we're going to build, and I'm going to build 4 of these tiled next to one another. They can tile, trust me, and I will explain why they are tileable when we get there. But I need to tear down my demonstration and then figure out where in this relative area, behind our honeycomb farm, which that's our manual reset. Yeah, I need to figure out where. So I think when it came to the honeycomb farm, I did a similar thing where I did a brief layout before I built the actual farm, because I kind of have to have an idea of exactly where to build this thing. Especially since I'm squeezing it in between a bunch of other buildings now. Really would have been easier if I hadn't built this thing yet. But anyway, it is what it is. So this is going to be just a little house. Same that we did with the honeycomb farm. This is just going to be where the fictional farmer of the bees would live. And yes, I'm building another bee farm. With another one right there. They might be competing, or they might just be utilizing their bees for different products, as we will. So this is going to be the house, and this is going to be the farm itself. Now it does need to be a bit bigger. It is the same width, but I think where that one only needed to be 6 blocks deep, this one needed to be 8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8-ish blocks here, and we might move this back a bit more. And I'm thinking we'll integrate the storage into this build. Unlike with the honeycomb farm, where it had a separate silo and output that doesn't really make any logical connection with the actual bee farm. This one I think we're just going to put over here. Now we could take it across and build another silo, but I don't think I want to, because underneath here we've got our iron farm, and I can't remember exactly how far it stretches, but yeah, it stretches much further than the area where I want to build this, so we can't really go underground with our redstone. All of the redstone for this farm has to happen above ground. So this is where I'm at. I have a very basic layout. I also have a shulker box full of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to use any of this stuff, but there's a shulker box full of stuff. So let's build up the farms. I was having some technical difficulties. I've built up all of the redstone for the farm itself. All it now needs is to be enclosed and to have the beehives put in place, the bee nests, sorry. But to actually move the drops, I'm struggling with a little bit here. So I've built up a very basic item elevator, or item dropper. So hoppers go into a dropper detects when it has stuff in it, and then redstone magic happens and it gets powered and it spits them back out. This is my preferred one. You can build one that's just always ticking and dropping, but then you're going to have this horrible tick 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 sound in the background all the time. So I don't want that. It's the same one I used for the honeycomb farm, so there's one right there down underneath. Anyway, yeah, I've had to extend the build a little bit, and I'm thinking at this point it's gonna have to sit like there, so that I can have, where's my blue wool? A wall there, and then we'll do our chests here, is what I'm thinking. We'll have a couple of chests stacked on top of one another with hoppers here in the back too. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I think I've sorted it all out now. And now I've made it really tall as well, which I don't know is necessarily a good thing just yet. I'll explain what that chest and those hoppers are for in a little bit. Let's see how tall I need to make the back. Okay, confusion aside, I think I'm happy with the mechanics of the farm now. I've dropped these input chests down one, so they're lower, which is good. I've also made it symmetrical, because there are two now. Yes, there are a lot of hoppers, I know. We have a output point here at the back that does work, because we have our clock and, not clock, but our dropper, so we can throw aha! Now it works. Okay. I had a blonde moment. So that works. It drops things into there. Where are my shears? And to top it all off, everything fits within the 4 wide space. It's a little taller than I would have liked, but that's okay, that's okay. Now we get to make it pretty, and I get to see if I can make that work. You know, I didn't really have any clue what I was doing in terms of the aesthetic build when I came into this, but I really like what I ended up with. Honeycomb is actually a beautiful block to use, and I like it a lot. This is my water elevator all the way up to there, so I can actually see in there and I can see things happening. You know, I've got that on all of these as well. There's a weird graphics glitch. You see that where there's not any water? Anyway, I like it. I dig it. This thing I think works. I put kelp in, broke kelp, it wound up in the chest, so, you know. I have a door here to begin with, like at the very start, where that one I added a door earlier in this episode only, which is like 20 episodes after I built it initially. So I think we're almost ready to put the hives in. However, this farm has another little catch to it. Also, my farmer villager barn is missing a door. That's not good. I just came for some emeralds, gentlemen. Don't mind me. I'll come and fix your draft later. Those glass trading villagers we spoke about a couple of episodes ago actually have a lot of emeralds. But anyway, are gonna come in very handy now because I'm gonna need a ridiculous amount of glass bottles. So let's just go ahead and trade up with these guys. So ideal operating circumstances for this farm is to have your dispensers always full of empty glass bottles. Full. Like max it out as far as possible, just in case. Unfortunately, that's one dispenser and it's pretty much all of the glass bottles I have at the moment. So, for the time being, I think I can get away with this a little bit until I manage to trade more glass with my librarians. So let's just go ahead and fill them all like this. But I don't have quite enough for the last one, which is fine, because that will allow me to potentially demonstrate... Ooh, it's very dark out here. To potentially demonstrate why you need to make sure your dispensers are full. So everything is now in place. Everything should now be working. The only problem is this very end dispenser that is not full of empty glass bottles. The rest are full. I don't have anything in reserve just yet. So, let's see. These 4 bee nests were full of honey. I don't know if that status transfers over if you pick it up. We'll see. But let's go ahead and place one down over there. It does transfer over. Okay. And you can see there the middle one doesn't have 21 bottles in, which means it did fire, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. So that'll happen with all of them. Just like that. And I'm not the one picking up the bottles, right? When we get to the last one though, right, so they've all now fired once. You can see they all still have empty bottles in them. The last one, if I place that down, you see it picked up the bottle of honey, which you don't want it to do. So if it has room in its inventory, it will suck that bottle right back up. Whereas if it doesn't have room like the others did, it won't do that. And that is why I gave it this incredibly large reserve, like so many hoppers and chests and things, to make sure that that cannot happen. Now I don't see my bees, which worries me immensely. We'll leave it for a little bit. I'll come back to it. Hopefully the bees are there. But there you see, we've got our first 4 honey bottles. And we'll leave this thing to run for a little bit while I go and get more glass. Hey, happy days! We have bees! Excellent. I don't know, I think they're trying to get out through the door, but it looks like it's working. I don't think I've left it long enough to have any more... No, no more. Not yet. But, fingers crossed, that should work. I've got some more glass here, so let's go ahead and make some more bottles. And while they're all in their hives, I want to get in here. I want to fill these things to the brim manually first, and then I'll start distributing them in through the chests, because I want that to kind of be even distribution, I think. Although, ideally at some point we'll get to a point where everything is backed up to the chests, and then it really doesn't matter. They can be out of sync again. I just really don't want one of them to run out, because that'll break the farm. So, I may or may not have had one or two escapes. I acknowledge absolutely nothing, aside from the fact that this thing is working. We do have a couple of bottles, even one in the top, a couple of bottles of honey bottles actually, at our disposal now, which means this farm is working. It is producing. I do have up to that. No. I've got a fair number of bottles in here. There we go. My reserve is gradually building. I do have the emeralds for more. I just really need my librarians to replenish their stock sometime this millennium. Nope, still not. Well, I'll keep doing that in the background. For now, I think we're good for a little while. Nail the landing. But this is good. This is very, very good. I'm happy. Now I need to decorate the rest of it. We've got one building. I need another, and then we need an outside. I still don't know what I'm doing. I need to apologize to you all right off the bat. I was struggling a little bit in terms of motivation, exactly what I wanted to build in the last clip when I left you. Now, as you can see from my levels, I was at, I think, level 59 in the last clip. I might need to go back and check that. But now I'm level 80. All I have done is trade with my librarians for glass to make glass bottles. That's a lot of villager trading. There are some barrels here you can see. There's a whole building here, which I really like, actually. I mean, this looks grand. We've got a little patio entrance, an entire interior built, decorated, made pretty and functional. A back patio that leads us to this side door that we must not open right now because there are tons of bees. And I've decorated it fairly similarly to how we decorated the last one. I'm really happy with what I've done here. Little work table. I've fenced it off on this side as well, so nothing can really get in or out. It's a little hassle because I now need to go all the way around to get to the back of this thing. But also, I have some bottles. Just a couple of bottles. I think that'll last us a while. But we can come around here. I can't fit through there. Okay, we're flying. If I can fly. I can fly! Get to the back. I haven't done anything out here. I'm thinking I want to build something more here so I have a reason to come to the storage room. Now that may not seem like a lot. But if you think, I've only got 4 bee nests in place. And every time a bee nest fills, which I believe takes 5 times of a bee entering it fully pollinated, I get 1 bottle. That's quite a lot, actually. It's been a while, my friends, but I'm very happy with what I've built, with what I've accomplished, and with what I've added here. I like it a lot. I think it finally closes off this part of the village here, where I wanted to land on top of this roof, where we've had our iron farm building, our water mill here, for a long time now, and a big gap between it and the apothecary. Now we have our honey bottle farm between it and the apothecary, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And it makes this space, this road here, finally feel complete and fully occupied. I'm very happy. Very, very happy. And now, yes, I may or may not have gotten carried away with my decorating and have not recorded any of it, but I just got into the headspace, into the mood to do work. And I was very slowly and gradually... I mean, this building and all of this decoration took me 3 hours to do today. That's a very long time to build a tiny little house. So, I'm sorry. I'm not redoing it. So deal with it. But my friends, if you've enjoyed the rest, I think I gave a very thorough breakdown on how this farm works and how to build this farm yourself. Additionally, a little bit of a tutorial on how to build the previous farm, the honeycomb farm, as well, briefly. So, I'm going to end the episode here, with my bees working merrily and buzzing happily. If you've enjoyed this episode, my friends, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I've got a lot more planned for the next couple of episodes. Until next time, my friends, have an absolutely brilliant one.